Welcome, everybody, to Taste Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? MasterCard and your sock. Before we jump into that, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, notifications, all those good buttons that help keep you up to date with everything we like to talk about, video games. All right, let's jump into MasterCard. MasterCard denies it pressured Steam, itch.io to delist adult games. MasterCard, you know it's good when they have to issue a statement. MasterCard has issued a statement claiming it has not required restrictions of any activity on game creators' sites and platforms, despite allegations from both Steam and itch.io to the contrary. So, MasterCard, here's their statement. MasterCard has not evaluated any game or required restrictions of any activity on game creators' sites and platforms, contrary to media reports and allegations. Our payment network follows standards based on the rule of law. Put simply, we allow a lawful purchase on our network. At the same time, we require merchants to have appropriate controls to ensure MasterCards cannot be used for unlawful purchases, including illegal adult content. So, bad. Both Steam and itch have stated their removal of adult content came from pressure by payment processors, including MasterCard. We did a story on this a week or two back, where apparently MasterCard and Visa both wanted to restrict what you did on your computer and with yourself, apparently. So MasterCard has not evaluated any game or required restrictions, they say. MasterCard's statement comes in response to the recent actions from both Steam and itch to remove or restrict adult content on storefronts. In early July, Steam removed numerous adults-only games from its platform, largely ones that included sexually explicit content. It also added a new guidelines to its policy stating that content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers will not be permitted. This was followed up with a similar move from itch just a week ago. So I'm not going to dive all into it because I'll get pissy the more I read because these companies have done so much worse to people than any computer game about incest could ever do. I mean, it's pretty pathetic. Now, let's give MasterCard a grain of salt of truth here. Let's say that they did not. Where is Visa saying, hey, we don't mind what you do, as long as you pay us? Where's the Discover? Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody uses Discover for that kind of stuff, but let's say it's true. Why would Steam limit or itch? Why would they limit themselves on sales? I mean, I have seen games on there that even made me go, damn. But none of them ever made me go, damn, that should be banned. None. And I'm a weirdo, so that's pretty good. I honestly don't believe MasterCard on this one. I think a company that has screwed over customers and overcharged them for decades, you just can't trust. I mean, you can't swipe your card now without a little sticker on the card reader saying, there's a 25-cent charge on using your card because, they're charging an exorbitant amount of fees now. So let's go over to Pat. Me and him, we don't really do the adult games. And since Nick is not here to defend himself, let's just use every example as what Nick was probably doing. So, Pat, do you think Nick was trying to purchase, that 1,000th Dirty Inbred Sister game when MasterCard finally said, you know what, that's enough? Was it Nick's fault?
Well, you know what Visa always says: we're everywhere you want to be, right? So
apparently they're everywhere you're at.
So I do believe Visa did make a response to Steam, or at least they made an email response. So it reads the way that I read both of these statements from like MasterCard and Visa is that they're either lying or they're claiming or they're basically playing ignorant and saying something was illegal, right? They're saying something is illegal. That's the way it kind of reads. So, I don't know. They say they don't block content sold by merchants as long as it's legal, right? But you know, it's a gray area because,
do you think they're trying to use like a loophole from, say, Texas or whatever? Because Texas, I think like Ohio has done like a lot of restrictions on adult content. Do you think they're trying to use one person's law to basically just cover the whole gamut?
maybe because what does Steam actually do to prove that you're old enough to play the game? I guess just agree to their terms of service, right? Whereas, like, I don't know if what was it? It was a big thing in the news not so long ago where there's like now age verification. I think we just saw the little joke or something somebody put in our group, our friends group, about the age. Jimmy Carr talking about the age verification stuff you got to do, like sending in photo IDs,
scan
and things
your
like
face.
That. Yeah.
So, and I just saw one, and I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just saw one. People are using
AI.
The guy from Death Stranding, the Walking Dead guy.
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus. They're using his face from the Death Stranding game to circumvent the face scan shit.
That's funny.
I mean, man, we got a lot of Norman Reedus cosplayers out here.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It almost sounds like these guys are trying, MasterCard and Visa are trying to say that, they're being very, very vague and saying, our payment network follows standards based on the rule of law. Put simply, we allow all lawful purchases on our network. At the same time, we require merchants to have appropriate controls to ensure MasterCard cannot be used for unlawful purchase, including illegal adult content. Now, illegal at whose stance, right? Because something that, obviously there's legalities between states, but there's federal laws, which they follow a lot more. They stay close to federal, do with state when they have to, right? So you can think about like the whole marijuana stuff where states have legal weed, but yet they, payment processing and stuff like that can be problematic, right? Now they do it, there's ways around it, but at the same time, it almost sounds like they're saying that Steam either is lying. So if you believe MasterCard and Visa, they're saying either Steam is lying and they didn't prevent it, or that Steam allows illegal content on their platform. I don't buy that. Now, maybe if you're claiming that they don't have proper controls in place, I might agree with that. Because Steam, they're not going to verify that you're over the age of 18 before you buy that adult only game, right? They don't do age verification. So
they do have, and I'm only going off of just this one monicum of thought here. So when I go to, it's like when you guys send a game we should check out. If that game is
right, but they only ask you to say that
they ask
what
you
your
to
birthday
verify
is.
your birthday. So,
but that's on the honor system.
That's exactly. But most things are. I mean,
no, they're not. No,
oh, like a lot of. I can go into the hospital. And
you are in
Bob.
Porn. We're talking strictly porn.
Okay, that's my subject.
Missouri is probably one of the more lax states, but if you go like Oklahoma, you can't look at porn without verifying your age, not just by saying I am over the age of 18. Yeah. You have to provide validation that you're over the age of 18, like a driver's license. That's what Steam doesn't do, from my understanding.
And that might be right. But the Oklahoma teacher guy, he was watching porn during a meeting, so I don't know if I'd go up with that one.
Right, but I'm just saying there's states. I'm just saying this states they're near us, surrounding us.
No, and you're right. I mean, every state has their own laws and things like that. like I said, Texas, and I think it was Oklahoma. They're a lot more restrictive now, and there's some things you just can't have or watch or do because somebody thinks that they're more moral than you. Um, and they probably are just trying to cover their
Okay.
butts.
So it says that Steam does have some type of age verification system in there, including government issued ID, but I've never seen that.
Well, here, let me
But
just
but I
find
don't live in a
something
state.
dirty.
Well, you're not in one of those states, though. They require.
Well, that's true because it will go up your IP. But
Yes.
hell, if that's the case, then you can use one of those IP things to mask. Hey, I'm in the sluttiest state in the country. I don't need to provide anything. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's too intrusive for some of the stuff. I mean, because it comes down to this, and you're a parent. You have to teach your kid what's right and wrong. If your kid chooses to do what's wrong, that's not on Steam. That's not on anybody but the kid and the parent. But that isn't always the parent's fault. I mean, the kid's got a bad friend. Porn's going to get looked at. I looked at porn when I was a kid. My dad always had it.
Yeah.
My dad was a truck driver. I've seen some weird shit, man. But I don't know. I don't think the credit card company should have the right to dictate what's right. But like you said, though, it might be, they're following Oklahoma law or Texas law, not Missouri or California or wherever.
Right, and that's what it says that they do, but I've not, like I said, I don't live in one of those states, and so to view like the videos for those games or whatever, when we joke around about them, because we'll get up for the tangent, and somebody, like when we found Doki Doki, right, that was kind of one of those nightly tangents where we were just like, well, look at this game, what the hell is this? And then Doki Doki came up, but it doesn't ask you to verify your age when you're in your account, and you see a trailer for these games, and they're full on like going at it, and you're like, okay,
that is true, but I don't remember. Maybe that's something I've set up with my account.
But you've never had to provide like a photo ID or anything validating that you are your birth date, right? Like,
no, I mean, I had to go in there and look at my son's Steam account because
see what he's looked at. And
you can see, what have been maybe, sister act, might have been checked out a little bit. Don't know, but that's also on me. I want my son to learn that kind of material isn't wrong. It's just you have to make the right choice about whether or not you want to view or interact with something like that. That's up to me and him to discuss. I've never played one of those games. I did play a demo once because we were talking about it and laughing about it, and I'd never seen it, and I wanted to see what it was. It didn't last long. Right. Neither did I. but no, it's at least that demo that I checked out. It was, I will say, the concept was interesting. It really was.
The execution just wasn't right.
Exactly. I mean, it was a beautifully done game, beautifully done characters, but I don't think I could get into that. Now, if it was a game that was more serious tone and that sex or nudity happened to be a part of the storyline kind of a thing,
then you played Baldur's Gate 3, right?
Exactly. But no, that's a great point. I didn't have to fuck the bear.
Yeah.
But you wanted to. I chose
or the other way around. The bear actually gave it to you, but.
Well, last thing I remember was whispering in my ear, "Hey, boo-boo.
I spy a picnic basket."
That's right. And I'm going to fill it with apples. but it should not be MasterCard's.
I mean, but they have to follow the law, right? And But
They have
it's
to follow the law,
interpretation.
yes.
It's interpretation.
Yes.
They're interpreting something they're either interpreting something is going on that's illegal, or they're saying that Steam doesn't have the proper checks in place to manage that.
And I think I think it's probably more than that, just because I think either one of those scenarios could have been addressed more directly. They could have came out and said, look, they're just not following the laws properly. Or they could have came out and said, it's not that we
but
we want to prevent it. Speak. We just you
have to have corporate speak, because you don't want to blatantly go out and start a defamation with another group, another large company, and say, well, they have illegal content on their site, and Gabe Newell has to come out and be like, no, we don't, and I'm suing you for claiming so. So everybody has to be PC about this, because you don't want to get sued for defamation, or you don't want to, business to business, they don't want to hurt another business's business plan unless they directly compete, and there's no competition between.
Not to mention
Steam
the way
and
it would look at, for MasterCard being like, hey, we were just, saying this, and it's like, well, why are you worried about what's on my computer?
Mm-hmm. Right. So at the same time, somebody's lying or somebody's stretching the truth. We'll
Somebody's
never know. What Capital One says, what's in your wallet? Steam saying, well, MasterCard's taking their hand and putting it in my other pocket.
Yeah, my prison wallet.
Oh, yeah. And saying I have something illegal in there that they need to get searched.
Yeah. Yeah. You just ruffling around for change or truffles in there? What are you doing?
They were trying to find the stripe reader in there. No, stripe reader wasn't working.
Yeah, if they try to, tell me what I can or cannot purchase, that's where they can put their card.
Right.
But, these things, these legal things, half the time they're so stupid, and they're just, they make problems where there are none. And I really want to know how it all came about then. If they're saying it wasn't us, then
put them back on.
Come out and say, hey, Steam, go ahead and put on Sister Act 2 and Scissoring Sisters, and, Grandma got a train ran over by a reindeer or whatever. Just, come out and say it. Right. Just say, hey, we don't monitor or care about that.
Right.
Or the opposite, say, hey, we don't feel like we should be paying for that. And I'll cancel my card and I'll get that, European one.
They don't work over here in the U.S.
No, but I can fix that IP address. But
it doesn't matter. U.S. payment systems and shipping won't accept your card.
Oh, I'll get it somehow. Don't you worry about that.
Steam will get a cash infusion somehow.
They'll just put one of the little cash slots on your damn PC now.
Right.
But it's stupid.
It is.
You got anything else before I go check out my dark side of my Steam account?
Video games are going to be featured in the next MasterCard's. What's their commercial? They're
priceless.
Priceless. Yeah, you're going to be in the next priceless, and then what's not in your wallet? Capital One's going to be on there.
Steam game $49.99. Box of tissue $3.99.
Getting your card rejected. Priceless.
Priceless. All right. You made it through nasty time all the way to the end. Be proud of yourself. We are. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Does MasterCard have the right to tell you what to put in your hand? Does MasterCard have the right to tell you what to put on your Steam Deck? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know if you think MasterCard and Visa and all the others can go suck butts, and, it's your money. So let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, notification, all those good buttons. And we'll see you next time. See ya.